Hello class, in this video we'll talk about motion graphics. So here I created an illustration in Illustrator, and then we'll switch it to After Effects, and we'll animate all of the assets, and we'll create a motion graphics. In the industry, it's getting more and more popular to use video as the media to advertise the brand. Like when you go to McDonald's to buy breakfast, for all of the advertisement you see, instead of just use a still image, a poster to advertise their new product, they're using animations and moving image instead. So that is called motion graphics. When the image is animated and move, it's getting more attention from the audience, right? Okay, so now let's get started. When you create the illustration, definitely you would draw all of the contents in one layer. I have this habit. I draw all of the elements in one layer, as you can see, and the black color background is on the first layer. However, if you bring all these contents into After Effects for animation, what you will do is you will have to separate all of the assets into layers. Okay, for example, if the cloud and the sun and the house, they're gonna be animated separately, and then I have to put these three objects into three layers. To separate different objects onto different layers, we can create a new layer. For example, here we'll double click and say cloud. All right, and then select your initial layer and select the cloud. Hit Command X to cut, and then select the cloud layer and hit Command F key to paste the object onto its original location, but on the new layer. All right, so this is the cloud, and we can lock this layer, and then we can select the sun, and we can hit Command X to cut and create a new layer and rename this new layer as sun. And then select this new layer, hit Command F key to paste it on the original location. Alright, so repeat this process and you will have this. Okay, so this will be a clean document and it's ready to go for After Effects. So you have your background and you have all the individual objects in a different layer. And then we'll go to After Effects and then select your illustration. So this is the illustration I draw, and then just drag it and bring it onto your project section, right? And here it'll pump up a import setting window. By default, it should say footage. And if you only want to import one specific layer, you can do this. Choose a layer and choose the layer you would like to import. So this is from the Illustrator document. However, what we'll do is we'll import the whole thing as a conversation. Okay, so import can choose conversation and click on OK. So that way, it'll bring everything here. So you have all the individual layers, and it also created a conversation based on your file size, the file size in Illustrator. Okay, and then when double click on this conversation, you can see it returns all the layers from your illustration. And then you can animate each individual object. Here, let's see, I would like each object to pump up. Okay, for example, the tree. This is the first tree. Okay, and now you can see that the anchor point is in the center of the project. So if I do scale up and down, it's scaling up and down based on the center. So what I can do is use the pen behind tool and then grab the anchor point and place it on the bottom of the bulk. And then we can create a keyframe and scale up and down. So here, for example, in the beginning, there's nothing to show, and then at about 10 frame, and create first a keyframe, and I can zero out its scale. And at about frame 1, I can create a second keyframe. I can change the scale as 100. So this will be the animation I have created. So in the beginning, there's nothing to show, and then the tree pumps up. Okay, so now let's give it more realistic. So let me erase all the keyframe I created. So instead of like the tree to grow up on both x-axis and y-axis, so what I can do is I can unlink the x and y, right? So here at frame 10, I create first a keyframe. Okay, however, here I would only want to shrink the y value, and then at about 1 second, I can put it at 100. So this will be look like this, right? It pump up. However, it's a bit slow, and I can just bring the keyframe to the left. This is how it looks, maybe to here. All right. Instead of let it grow up to 100 and then stop it there, I can let it grow to 120 and then shrink it down to about 90 and then jump back to 100. So this way I give it a kind of a bouncing animation here. So let's take a look at it again. Right? So it turned it to a rubber band and give it more kind of a realistic, natural look. Alright? So we can do the same thing for the other tree and the house. And then for the sun, let's see our original animation. For the sun, I would like it to go in the curve, right? So at 1 second, select the sun, and then use the pen behind tool. Make sure the pen behind tool, the anchor point, is in the center of the sun, and then switch to the selection tool, and we can bring it to the horizontal line here. So this will be beginning point, and we can go to this keyframe. Just select the layer and hit PK to go to the position. First keyframe at 1 second, and then maybe about 6 seconds. We'll bring it to the other side, right? And by default, it'll move in this way. However, if we select both these two keyframes, right, we highlight it here, and we can see the motion trail. Right now it's a straight line. If we click on the anchor point here, we can just bring this tangent up, and then by doing that, we add some weight on its motion curve. So now we curve it a little bit. Same thing here. We can just bring this tangent up, maybe higher on this side. So by doing that, we made this motion trail in the curve. And now if I play, as you can see, moving the curve, right? And then we can let it to fade in, fade out. Hit TK, we can switch it to opacity. First keyframe, we give it a 0. Second keyframe, we give it a 100. Okay, so it'll fade in. Maybe start from 1 second, as it already moving, right? And then, well, we add third keyframe and fourth keyframe. So third keyframe, keep opacity as 100, and for the fourth one, we'll change it to 0. So it will fade out, right? So this will be the sun animation. So basically we created everything we have in this video, and now let's add more that is not in the video. For example, if I would like the door color to kind of flashing, as we've done in the second project, right? We can just select the object and apply color correction effect, and we can create a keyframe on the color correction. However, here, what if I want to change the original stroke color in After Effects? Okay, let's go to the house layer. Right click on the house layer, go to create, and create shapes from vector layer. So after you click on that, you can see that it hides your original layer, and it creates another layer. Basically, duplicate, and it says the house outlines. So this activated the original stroke, the path that we created in Illustrator. As you can see, I can go into this layer, and I can see the contents. So this is the different groups. For example, the first group, which is this part, right? We can just select it through here. So the door frame, which is group 7. And what about here? Group 16. So we can move it up. So we know all these 3 parts are the door, right? The door frame. Oh, we missed one. So that will be the 15. We also paste it here. These 4 contents are the door frame, and here, for example, if I go to group 17, under it, you will find a stroke. And under stroke, you can change the color. I can go to the timeline and I can keyframe the color. So at a 0 second, I can create a keyframe and I can see stay with this color. Okay, maybe at 1 second, I would like to change it to blue. At 2 seconds, I would like to change it to green. 3 seconds, change it to yellow. 4 seconds, change it to red. And at 5 seconds, just switch back to its original color, which is the purple. So I can just copy the keyframe and paste it here. And then if I play, this is how it looks. Is that cool? Right? And then I can just copy all these keyframes. And I can go to the other group and go to the stroke. And select the stroke and just paste. It'll paste it to its color channel. Right? And if I want them to be look different, I can just shift the keyframe. So I can delete the first keyframe and shift the keyframe 4, right? And then use the second keyframe as the next keyframe here. So it will initial color it will be blue, and at 5 seconds it will be blue, right? So they are switched in a different order. And then I can repeat this process. Okay, so this is how it looks eventually.